what is ethics? So as we see, there are different definitions which are provided by different set of people for talking and discussing about ethics. So if you go to Britannica Library, you can always find a definition for it. So ethics can be defined more of as a moral philosophy. It can be defined as a discipline which is concerned with what is right or wrong, what is good, what is bad. So people think ethics as a system or a value system, or it's a theory of moral values or principle wherein which helps you to be binded by the framework of society. So ethics are the binding principles as we call them across. So if you look the definition of Oxford Dictionary, so it is considered as moral principles that governs a person's behavior, or it helps you to carry out any kind of activity. So it basically helps you in conducting any activity in the rightful manner. So as Oxford Dictionary say, it's all about the morality, moral principles that governs a person and its behavior for conducting any kind of activity. And it is also a branch of knowledge that deals with the moral principles. So that's how individual and people think of ethics as a binding principles. So now let's try to look into the definitions of what is rights, what are principles, and what are the values. So if you see, rights are basically collection of entitlement which a person can have and which are protected by government or court, right? So all humans are fundamentally having some rights. So when you are born as human, you possess some fundamental rights. So these rights which you possess, they are like a entitlement or collection which you enjoy as a human, as a person, and they are protected, they are given by or they are empowered to you by governments, and they are ensuring that government and courts are protecting those, right? So they are fundamentally collections or connections between ethics and law. So the rights can be your fundamental, or they are fundamental in nature, and they are the entitlement a person observe. So as we called, if there is any kind of violation of the rights, then the likes of your governments or different governing authorities or courts come into picture for enforcing them. So that's the definition of rights. So now let's look about the principles. So principles, they are a fundamentally well settled rule of law or standards for good behavior, or you collectively call them as a moral or ethical standards. So principles, as we call it, certainly that is more related to the morality or ethical standards which a person, a culture or society holds. So that's in a nutshell about the principle. Now let's look into the values. So values are more related to your ethical ideas or your beliefs for which any of the person or individual has enduring preferences, and which basically determine your state of mind, and it acts as a motivator for you. So values are intrinsic to individual and person, and it basically drives your state of mind, and it basically allows you to act in certain way you want to. So values acts as motivator for humans to behave in the way they want to behave. So values are certainly non-binding in nature. So values can be personal, it can be based on individual preferences and individual choices, and it is also about the state of mind. So values at times are non-binding. So we need to talk and discuss what is the connection between ethics and laws from the perspective of the rights, principles, and the values which we hold across law versus ethics. We also say, as we call out, law is a systematic and it is more of an accepted set of rules which are always upheld and enforced by authorities such as your government or your international court of justice. So as we call it out that if you are human, you will be binded by some of those law which is protected or which is entrusted upon you through the likes of government or through the likes of international court of justice. But as we see, ethics is a set of guidelines or moral principles. So law, as we call, is used to maintain the social order and it basically protects citizens for any undue behavior. Whereas ethics is used to help people decide what is right and what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. So ethics are more of the individual choices. So hence law and ethics are fundamentally different in the nature that they are dependent on individuals to decide. That's ethics. Law is all ever pervasive, it's all binding. That's basically law. So now let's look at from the perspective of artificial intelligent ethics. So as we call, we are not saying it is as an artificial intelligence law. It is called artificial intelligence ethics because they are the guidelines. So they are guidelines and the kind of legislation which both of them, they are in the development phase, right? So these are the organizations which have worked upon in terms of ensuring these artificial intelligence ethics are developed. So the Future of Life Institute, so this is one of the organization which is based out of US. So they have come up with Lomer's principles. So these Lomer's principle, so you can refer to this link which is called https futureoflife.org/AI principles. So these are the artificial intelligence principles which Future of Life Institute has laid down. Similarly, the ethics guidelines for the trustworthy AI has been provided by EU, European Union as well. So ethics guideline for trustworthy AI has been provided by European Union. So this can be an exam question as well. So you should always remember the Future of Life Institute is based out of US. So they have given the Asilomers principle. Your trustworthy AI has been given by European Union. So that's how you can always think of remembering this across. So European Commission Directorate General of Communication, they have come up with the latest revision in March 2019 about the ethics guidelines for trustworthy artificial intelligence, and it is fundamentally provided by EU. So you can always refer to this link for your reference.